March 14, lumabas yung pirmadong version ng batas. From SB 1397, naging RA11235 na siya. Maraming taong nasaktan, maraming nadismaya, may mga lumabas na black propaganda, na pag-inita ng isang senador. Ang daming nangyari. Nagpatawag kami ng forum, and dun sa forum na yon, to our surprise, came at least 2,000 riders sa EDSA ng gabi. It was a surprise because hindi namin akalain na ganun na kaagad karami yung dadating sa forum na yon. During the forum, we explained to everyone na ang laban natin ngayon sa lamesa na. Done are the days na we go out on the street, show of force tayo, kasi nagawa na natin lahat. Nag-vigil pa nga tayo sa Minjola nung March 7, the night before the fateful last night, the day it was actually signed, March 8. Pero people were still asking for show of force. Labas tayo sa kalsada, ganyan-ganyan. So, we asked the question. Habang nandun kami sa forum, tinanong namin ang tao, talaga bang gusto nyo pang lumabas? Oo, pakita natin kung ano yung nararamdaman natin, ganyan. So sabi namin, para mapansin tayo, we have to beat all records. And the last record was about 7,000 in 2014. 7 plus. 7 to 8,000 riders. Sabi namin, to make an impact, to make a statement, or mapansin tayo, we have to beat that number. So, we need at least 10,000 riders. So, hiningi namin sa tao, 10,000 riders. To get that 10,000 riders, lahat kayo na nandito sa forum, tutulungan nyo kami manghikayat na sumama ang tao. So, we made that demand. Actually, it's a demand na nga eh. So, we made that demand. Then came March 24. When we arrived on site, we said, we're going to hit 10,000. But we never, in our wildest imagination, thought we would hit 100. And if you look at the aerial photographs, walang sinabi ang EDSA 2. Walang sinabi ang EDSA 2. So, the feeling that day was very overwhelming. In fact, nung nagpe-press conference kami, later that day, it was so hard for me to speak to media because I was so emotional dahil alam naman ng tao yun kung gaano kababaw luha ko eh. But anyway, we had hope, we had made an impact. Nung gabi pa lang, lumabas na tayo sa 3 major TV news. 7, 5, and parang cable, CNN Philippines. The next day, eto na. Wala nang tigil yung phone interview, radio interview, television interview. Wala nang tigil. We were coming out in newspapers left and right. Different numbers, 10,000, 50,000, 70,000, 100,000. Until we received the last bit of computed, okay, hindi daw bababa sa 100. Based on the area we covered, from Ortigas to Boni Serrano, puno ng motor yon along EDSA. At some points nga, 1 lane na lang ang natira. Yung buong westbound lane ng White Plains, mula EDSA hanggang dulo, Christ the King, puno. As in, pati naglalakad, hirap sumingin. Yung eastbound lane had more than 75%. Meron lang sa may isang area doon na bukas, kasi doon umiikot yung mga lumalabas ng Corinthian guided. Doon ang piniikot. Inilakihan nila yung bukas doon kasi galit na galit yung mga umiikot doon. But anyway, And then, sa dulo ng White Plains, going down Temple Drive, puno ng motor. Tapos, from dulo ng White Plains, all the way to Boni Serrano sa likod, one lane nun, hanggang dulo, puno ng motor. You can just imagine kung hanggang saan umabot. So, 100 plus thousand riders. We asked for 10. They gave us 100,000. So, we believe it made an impact. It did. It rattled a lot of people, things, because the interviews were non-stop, the meetings were non-stop. We were being called from here and there. Rider forums were being requested left and right. Nangyari yung Davao, nangyari yung Gensan, nangyari yung sa Bacolod and Cebu. And then, the letter from LTO came asking us for a position paper and that we will get invited in the promulgation of the IRR. And then came Saturday. I was in Iloilo at that time. I came from Rojas City. It was a last-minute decision to go to the National Convention because I spoke to some groups who wanted me to go because they wanted me to be there because they knew that people wanted to see me because they wanted to have updates. And then, the day before the convention, no. The first day of the convention, noong April 5, nakausap ko si June Malones, one of the organizers. And he gave me a spot to speak in the convention. Sabi ko, overwhelming to my surprise. That's when I decided, sige, pupunta ako ng Iloilo. And besides, it's just a 2.5-hour drive from Rojas. And people are asking what I was doing in Rojas. We were there for personal family business. Okay? The first 3 days we were there was personal family business. Walang pakialam ang entire riding community doon. Although I had a seminar scheduled 7th in Aklan and a Davao private seminar for a private client ng Monday. I was there in the morning. I spoke to at least 6 federation presidents. Samar, Leyte, Tacloban, Ormoc, the people from Negros were there, Panay Island, and a few others. Of course, our good friend, General Pase of Lerap, I spoke to him there also. LMFI was there. I spoke to some big bike groups and ang dami ko nakausap. From our table to the parking lot, took me an hour and a half. Kasi walang tigil yung mga nakakausap namin na tao. And it was just overwhelming na, doon mo masasabi na hindi naman tayo talaga pinabayaan ng big bike clubs eh. They're still part of us. Hindi lang siguro natin namamalayan. Kasi syempre, kapag nasa city ka na, nagsa-small bike yan. Mahirap gamitin ng big bike sa traffic eh. Hindi lang siguro natin sila napapansin kasi they will rather use the smaller bikes in traffic. Diba? But anyways, kasama pa rin natin sila. And we realized that naman, kahit papano. Nakita naman natin nung March 24 yan, ang daming big bikes, di ba? One side of EDSA, kanila lang. So, I was given the chance to speak, gave them a brief update, what to expect, what was going to happen next. And then, after lunch, I went back to Aklan. The moment we got to Aklan, when I started receiving text messages, syempre, we left friends behind in Iloilo. And the first report I got was this. JV Ejercito talking to the president. Talking about RA11235. Okay. Next text message was Butch Chase now talking to president regarding RA11235. The third message I received was about, siguro mga 30 minutes later. President said he will suspend RA11235 after talking to Butch Chase and Senator J.B. Ejercito. At that point, binitawan ko yung kutsara ko. I was siguro silent for about 5 minutes, not knowing what to think. Ito na, text na sila ng text sa akin, update na update. That's when I decided to post it on MRO. I called it good news. Because it is. I called it good news, posted it. We were the first. Kumpara mo sa iba, we were the first. Yung nga lang sa akin kasi had edits eh. Kaya yung oras nag-a-adjust eh. But we were the first. I know for a fact that we were the first. If you look at all the news clippings, ang nakalagay lang doon, yung sinabi lang ng Presidente. What led him to say it? Wala. Tayo lang ang nagbalita nun. Until I think, later that night or the following day, Ride PH mentioned it na. Earlier that day, I posted giving credit where it was due. Ang dami nakipag-argue sa akin doon. Yung giving credit where it was due. Sabi nila nangangampanya ako. Masama na pala magpasalamat ngayon. I'll take note of that, ha? Na mag-iingat ka kapag nagpapasalamat ka sa tao kasi masama na pala ngayon yun. Form of pangangampanya na pala yun. But to our posts, ang lagi natin sinasabi, wait, relax, huwag magpakakampante. Right now, it's just a statement. You have to see it in writing. Any form of executive order directed to the LTO to suspend implementation pending amendments. Some lawyers say it can't be done. Some lawyers say it can because executive office yan eh. He's not actually stopping the law. He's just asking for the agency responsible for the IRR to fix it. Can they fix it? Now that's the question. Because the mother law that the president signed is very specific. What's needed in the law, what it demands, what the provisions are, what the penalties are, and so on and so forth. So on paper, kahit na nagsalita ng presidente, it will still run as it is hanggat walang nare-receive na order ang LTO. And in fact, tuloy pa rin ang promulgation ng IRR to which we are invited in on Friday. So tuloy pa rin. Umuusad pa rin. So we don't know where the suspension is or when it's going to happen. Or if it's going to happen. We hope it is. We hope it would. But, you know, hope for the best, expect the worst. Ano lang yun. So on Friday, we go face LTO, talk to them about the IRR, let's see what adjustments they have made. We will bargain. We will make demands. We will offer little to no compromise. Kasi, we want to hold on to the lower house version. Nothing in the front, increase size in the back, tulad ng Euro Standard, tulad ng sinabi ng Presidente na gusto niya rin, and then yung pagka nawala ka ng plaka, reduced ang penalty, na hindi ka tatatuhin na para kang kriminal kung wala ka pang bayad ng penalty.
Pero okay ba sa atin yun, yung ang sabi ng Presidente, 15,000?
10 to 15?
Yeah. Okay ba sa atin yun?
Well, he made a huge adjustment from 50 down to 10. So I think we can still adjust it down to the JAW standards. Kasi, 5. Yung driving without a plate number. Na na-issuehan ka na ng plate number.
Kasi ang iniisip ko lang, sir, what if intentionally ninakaw talaga yung plate number mo? Hindi mo nalaglag, hindi mo nawala, kundi ninakaw para gamitin sa krimen.
Well, pagka kinuha yan sa motor mo, when you go to your motorcycle, you would notice. Pero kung kinopya lang, now that's a different question. then you have to prove where you were on that given day and time. Grab yung hassle. Pero our current state is just like that already. So, yun na yun eh. Pero nga, sa job kasi, pagka nawalan ka ng plaka, unintentional, you're penalized, but it doesn't contain any provision that they'll put you in jail. You're not criminalized. Marami nagtatanong, how do you say you're being criminalized by the law? Because the law puts us in jail for just losing our own plate number. Am I a criminal for losing a plate number? Do you have a car? Pagka sinabi niyang yes, pagka nawala yung plaka mo, kukulong ka ba? Kami ikukulong. That's how we're criminalized. And what does the title say? Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act. That's undue profiling title pa lang. Why? Motorsiklo lang ba ginagamit ng kriminal? Di ba? Motorsiklo lang ba ginagamit ng kriminal? Hindi. Ito nga, sunod-sunod eh. Di ba? Isang van na puno ng armadong lalaki. Di ba? Dinukot ang aid ng ganyan. Oh my God. I could just imagine how that feels. No, in fact, I cannot imagine how that feels. Siguro ako yung maiihi ako on the spot. Iihi talaga ako to sa takot. You know, hinahawakan ka ng 4 na tao, yung isa tinatadyak-tadyakan ka lang. Tapos kasi di baril. Ganun karaming tao, feeling ko, gagawin niya akong sisig. Pagkatapos, sobrang chap-chap, sisig ang kalalabasan ko. Pero before that, yung nangyari dito kay Utog. Kay Rosana. After they were intentionally sideswiped on Marcos Highway. By the way, justice for Rosana. Their first hearing is on April 30. Mga kaibigan, I'm calling on everyone na libre on April 30. Sumugod tayo sa RTC lahat. April 30. 2 p.m. Pasig RTC. Hindi to kusa, hindi ako yung nanghihimasok at nakikialam or anything, ha? This is in collaboration with Rosana's brother. Baka sabihin nila kasi sumasaw-saw. No, this is in collaboration with Rosana's brother. They feel na alanganin sila sa kaso. Bullshit. The video was too clear. Anyway, so, because tuloy ang IRR promulgation sa Friday, we don't see the effects of Duterte's pronouncement last Saturday. At least not yet. We hope we haven't seen it yet. We hope that we will see something. We hope. So, what happens is, it will continue. As of today, it seems like it's going to continue. And if it does, paglabas ng IRR, pag-aaralan natin, and then kung pwede natin i-declaratory relief, we put it on declaratory relief. Para, pagka naka-declaratory relief siya, tanggapin siya ng korte, magkakaroon ng pagkakataon ang mga amendments to do their job. Or, baka i-repeal, pero long shot yun eh. How many times do you see people winning against the government in a court case? Medyo suntok sa buwan. We're still preparing for that incident na in case. So from that point until today, we hear Gordon saying a lot of things. Na hindi daw niya pinag-usapan yung plaka, hindi daw metal plates, pwede naman daw decals and stickers, what else did he say? Para sa tao, para daw sa Pilipino, and so on and so forth. Based on what we know from public documents, the transcripts of the hearings from 2017, the transcripts from the bicameral, they never spoke about stickers or decals. They only spoke about plate numbers. And the only plate numbers we know of are the plate numbers issued by LTO that are made of metal. Nagbago lang naman ng ihip ng hangin nung nagsimula tayong mag-ingay after the 14th of March. Doon lang nagbago ang ihip ng hangin. Marami sinasabi si Gordon ngayon na kasinungalingan base sa transcripts. Now, again, these transcripts are public documents. Bycam transcript at saka hearing transcript ng 2017. It's just so insulting sa ating mga rider, yung mga pinagsasabi ni Gordon. Kasi, ginagawa niya tayong tanga when in fact, ang dating nga ngayon para sa akin, parang siyang hindi nagbasa ng batas niya. Tayo, mas alam pa natin yung batas niya kaysa sa kanya mismo. But in any case, that's Gordon for you. He really hates us. He wants to make our lives a living hell. He wants to turn our lives into an experiment. Gusto niya tayo kunan ng 50 mil or ipakulong whenever the chance permits because hindi naman tayo lahat kriminal eh. Iilan lang ang kriminal sa hanay natin eh. And for the most part, sino bang tangang kriminal ang gagamit ng sarili niyang motorsiklo at gagamit ng sarili niyang plaka? That's the main point. Instead, ang kapalit ng mga gawain ng kriminal na hindi natin kasalanan is, number one, we're unduly profiled. Number two, we're left with discrimination. We're being oppressed. We're given an anti-poor law. The equal protection of the laws have been erased from the Constitution. The no exorbitant penalties have been removed from the Constitution. No degrading punishment has been removed from the Constitution. Binura ni Gordon yung Constitution sa batas na to. But, like we said, we're preparing, we're getting prepared for what's to come. Too bad for the lone senator who's doing something instead of the rest who's doing nothing with the black propaganda. Kawawang tao. But, yan buhay politika Pinasok niya yan. Subukan niyang gawin ang kailangan niyang gawin or yung kaya niyang gawin para malusutan to. But, I feel bad for him. I have never asked anyone to vote for any senator. I'd like to make that very clear. I did ask people to vote for Ferdy Marco, tumatakbong konsehal po ng Marikina, aking isa sa matalik kong kaibigan, na dating MRO admin. Sinabi kong dating MRO admin kasi sa MRO bawal ang pamumulitika. So, dahil pumasok siya sa politika, hindi siya pwede. Pero, alam niyo na ibig sabihin nun. Hindi ko pwedeng i-deny yung tao. Naging parte siya ng MRO. Bago siya pumasok, naging counselor na siya. Bumabalik siya sa pagiging konsehal para ayusin yung mga problema ng mga riders dito sa Marikina. But, hindi naman kayo taga Marikina lahat kaya why should you care? But I have never asked for anyone to vote for anyone. Pero we see a lot of people saying, do not vote for this, do not vote for that, no vote for this, zero vote for them. It's the same thing. It's just the opposite. But it's the same thing. It's also politicizing. You have to realize that. So anyway, that's where we are. We have a Republic Act that we don't know if it's really suspended or not. We have an IRR promulgation coming in the next 2 days. We need to prepare for the declaratory relief. The people who promised us that they will amend the law should also be ready if in case it happens. Same message, huwag magpakakampante. Manatiling nakamatsag, nagbabantay, nakikinig, nanonood. That goes for us as well. Bantayan nyo kami. Some people think we're feeding you to the politics of this country. Patunayan nyo. Ha? Please, patunayan nyo. Meron pa nagsabi, huhubaran daw ako. Sure ka, ha? Baka magsisi ka pagka natanggal lahat yan. Wala kang makikita, kundi kalaswaan na hindi maganda. But in any case, we're not affected by them. Ginagawa na nga lang namin silang katatawanan. It's just that I hope people understand why we can't keep quiet, because we can't allow what happened in 2016 to happen again. MRO in 2016 had entered a dark era wherein a scandal blew up out of proportion and MRO almost collapsed. That was because we remained quiet. That was because we did not fight back or answer back. So the reason why we're answering back now is because we need to protect the integrity of MRO from any attack. Even if it's not true, alam mo naman ng Pilipino eh. Kung ano yung marinig, yun ang paniniwalaan. Crab mentality nga eh. Andiyan na yung maganda na nga ginawa, angal pa. Diba? Tumutuloy mga hanap butas pa. Diba? At kung ano-ano pa. Yung simpleng pasasalamat or giving credit where is due, tinataguri ang pangangampanya na. Search button. Hanapin mo yung pangalan ko at hanapin mo kung meron akong inendorso na maski isang politiko, except for Freddie Marco. And then tell me if I'm campaigning or not. So I guess that's where we are right now. We have the haters and the bashers, the propagandists on this end, but, you know, in reality, we really could care less about them because the focus is on RA11235, the IR promulgation on Friday, the steps that will follow, making sure that the people who made promises keep their promises, showing and proving that ROTP is intact. People seem to think that, you know, it's being run by one person or one group, which is not true. But, you know, this is the time for all the communities, all the riders, all the clubs, groups, organizations. It is the time for everyone to come together. It is not the time for us to politicize, find loopholes, find holes, find excuses, find ways to derail the purpose. Dahil bukod sa pagiging childish nung ginagawa nila, it's obvious that it's all propaganda because of an agenda. It's because of politics as well. Yung mga nagrepresentang anti-politics ngayon, ang ginagamit ang politics para tirahin kami, tignan nyo mabuti, silang namumulitika. Hindi kami. Nagpapasalamat lang kami. That's all it is. Masama na pala magpasalamat ngayon. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to end this interview by saying, it's not over till the fat lady sings. We have a long way to go, a long fight ahead of us. If we go to court, it will take years. To the haters and the bashers, pasensya na kung sinasagot-sagot ko pa kayo. Masarap nyo kasi pagtripan, sa totoo lang. Pero yun nga, if you have proof, show the people. Huwag nyo napahirapan yung tao. Labas nyo na lang yung ebidensya nyo. Otherwise, I call on every single rider out there. I think this would have not taken this turn of events kung hindi dahil sa ginawa natin noong March 24. I believe that's where it all started. At least, it's where it all started, noong March 24. Kasi even Malacanang reacted the following day. Diba? After March 24. The following day or 2 days after. I can't remember. So imagine if 100 people on EDSA and 100 people more all over the Philippines came together and shook them up. Imagine 10% of the riding population coming together. 20% of what came out no March 24. Kasi 200,000 lang tayo no March 24. Eh. All combined, provinces and Metro Manila. 200,000. That's 20% of a million. A million is 10%, about 10% of the entire riding population of this country. Based on 10 million motorcycles on the street. But I believe it's even more. Maybe naglalaro between 12 and 14 million. But let's be conservative. 10 million lang. So if 20% of 1 million, which is 10% of the conservative number of riders in the country, comes together, can you imagine what we can do? What do you think? I'm not calling for another unity ride. Not yet.